Okay, so I was on. All right. In 5, 4, 3. Welcome everybody to Cali Brick Clique, episode number 14. And well, before I get into a little bit of introductions, I definitely want to say that this podcast now can be listened to on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you can find podcasts, because it's slowly popping up every now and then every time I check Anchor. So if you don't want to watch this, you can definitely take a look at that while you're at work, because I listen to podcasts at work because I like to. It makes the time go by. Oh yeah, it does. But you definitely take a look at it. I will post them a little earlier, so if you're trying to get a preview of the episodes, because they do release on Friday, definitely check out the podcast you can find out there. So with us, we have a Ninja with the Bricks, and it's going to be on his channel next week. I did.
Look at that. Nice.
We dropped it right there in the beginning. And we have Plastic Architect, and well, this man needs no introduction, JangBricks. We have an equal, like, north-south in Cali right now.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
We got 50-50.
Right? It's 50-50. Like, Claire's no longer by herself up there.
It's true. Finally, some representation, you know?
Right? So how's everybody doing?
Doing good, man. I'm chilling.
I'm rolling. I'm still
Jang
going.
looks still tired. Yeah, he's
A little bit.
For like 4 hours, 5, 6 hours all day.
No way.
Third stream in a row.
Oh my God.
Not only that, he did like a stream doing Technic.
Is that what that is in front, the blue in front of you?
Yeah, it's
You
the center.
That's cool.
It is.
Done? It looks done.
Yeah, it's all done.
Wow.
Just finished 5 minutes before joining you here.
Are those stickers on the sides?
Everything stickers except for these right here, because they're complex curves.
Those are really
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, I was
like
really
that. Okay.
surprised to see that. But everything else is stickers. It didn't feel like too much though, surprisingly. It's like a lot of little ones, but it just felt natural where they got placed and how frequently they get placed. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Are the wheels like the normal size of like a Technic car? Or are they like bigger?
These are like Ninjago large sized
Oh,
or
okay.
like medium. So
Mhm.
it's not too big.
So
And
it's
it's got
not
the
nothing.
hand of
big.
God steering.
Would it be more like the Fast and the Furious Charger type of size?
Those ones were
Scale.
big.
Were they?
See,
Yeah,
I didn't
those-
get that one. Here, I've got another
nice.
Technic set.
That's a
Oh,
nice
there you go.
size. I like, oh, that one's cool. I like the
Okay,
size
okay.
of it.
It's kinda small.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of like the Technic cars, I think of like the Bugatti, like the ones that don't fit on any shelf or anything. And I'm like, I'm a little afraid, but that looks
Mhm.
like a good entry point piece
Yeah.
as well.
It's 830 pieces, so
Mhm.
expect if you're familiar enough with Lego, it's like 2.5 hours to build.
Or if you're me, like 11 and a half.
Pins and holes.
I intentionally
It's
take one.
scary. Technic is scary because once you mess up, like when I messed up the Osprey, I had to like, oh man, I had to take. It wouldn't turn on, like the rotors wouldn't spin. So I had to see what gear was I missing,
Yep.
and I had to
Yeah,
like
that's-
go through the whole thing all over again, taking the whole thing apart. I'm like, oh, I forgot to put this here.
And if you don't put it in the correct position,
Mhm.
it could mess everything up. Like
It
if
messes
it's just
everything
slipping-
up.
Oh,
I did that on a much smaller scale on the Haunted Mansion, like, you know, for the ride that goes like,
I think a lot of us are having a problem with that.
yeah, I fixed it though. Now it's like working like absolutely beautifully, but like I
Nice.
definitely had to take it apart and put it back together probably 3 times because that was also my first, like, that was the most Technic-y. Is that Technic? Is that Technic? Technically, yeah, that was the most Technic I've ever done, which I really liked it. I like no, and then the mechs, like the Monkey Kid mech and stuff like that. That kind
So
of
it's
feel.
like Technic support, but not true Technic.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would
Yeah,
definitely recommend a
like-
smaller Technic set to start off with
Mhm.
before you go into something like the Bugatti.
I don't
What do
even
you mean?
want the Bugatti. I don't even know how I would display it. Yeah.
You mean like a full Technic set?
I want to do a full, you know
Or
what I
like
want? Is that
just-
like giant excavator thingy, but that looks
The beer.
No,
I
the
really
current
want-
excavator is kind of small. It's the one that they have right now. Like the body of it is only about
Oh,
this
is
big.
it really?
Yeah,
The
it's
photo
small.
makes it look like it's like
No,
Fine.
he's not talking about the Le Beer, right? You're not talking about the
No.
Le Beer, right?
Oh no. There's
The
a
Le
there's
Beer
a
is
there's a
monstrosity. Yeah,
oh yeah that's on a whole nother level.
that's the one that I was like, I want to build that. Which
Oh.
is,
Let's start off with that.
it's like starting Star Wars with like the Millennium Falcon. It's just like
Right.
go home.
Start with one of the pullbacks.
You know, I mean, I did this lady. I did
Or
the
those
Spider
monster
Queen
trucks.
thing.
Yeah, isn't that a? Yeah,
I did
There you go.
Yeah.
Start with pullbacks. It's like it'll take you a good hour, and then you can kind of get a feel about what you're getting yourself into before actually touching a full-on Technic set. Because I mean, it would be interesting to see you do a video doing the Labir as your first Technic set. You might be really frustrated, be very angry. Might throw it off the
Are you
building.
making assumptions based on my sex?
No, I'm just saying anybody who's done that, like, don't go in it. Why did you make it a sex thing? I was talking about. I was just saying anybody who
He was listening. He was listening.
I was just saying, like, the first time you dive into
I
a
need to
Technic set,
represent San Francisco.
no, that's everybody. That's everybody. I'm not
They
saying-
they have some
Wow, you're gonna
smaller
get me
Technic
canceled
sets
already,
right now.
Claire.
I know I'm gonna get you canceled. That's right.
What was that?
They have some smaller Technic sets right now. They have like a plane, like it's like a 3-in-1 plane or 2-in-1
Oh yeah,
or
the
something.
little ones.
And then they have
It
I think
literally,
they're more advanced than that.
Yeah.
whoops, and they have those monster
figure it
trucks.
out.
I'm telling you, the current excavator would be a good one to start because it's like a
That
construction
big.
equivalent to this in scale, and it has an actual mechanism that works. I don't know.
That seems fun, and honestly, it's like adjacent to like my industry and work and stuff, so it'd be like kind of appropriate. I'm just trying to think of an excuse to buy it because
That
You
Right,
know,
right.
you're just gonna buy it.
some of my like I'm definitely gonna just buy it, but some of my non-Lego building products have actually been harder to put together than Lego. Actually, so we'll get. I
Oh,
mean,
really?
we'll get into that, but
Which is actually a good segue to what we're going to talk about right now. A lot of us here have kind of ventured outside of Lego or third-party Lego. And I myself, you guys are familiar with my channel, I like to dive deep into the military builds by Brickmania, Brick Veteran, Minifig Co., even though they hate me, and other third-party Lego minifigure companies like Eclipse Graphics, Citizen Brick. But I have purchased some Kobe just to compare it. And a lot of my specific viewers they ask me, why do you spend $300-$400 on a Lego tank when you can get a Kobe one for like $40?
Mhm.
And to not dive deep into the why custom Lego sets are very expensive, we'll touch on that in a little bit, but why not touch Kobe? And let's use Kobe, or what is that? Laws, right? That's
me. I like the Laws one. Yeah, it's one of the ones that's a different scale.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Laws, yeah.
It's like
It's kind of like nano blocks, right?
Nano blocks, but they're not. I don't think they're the same scale.
They're not. They're not compatible with Lego at all.
No,
Right.
nano
Or-
blocks are weird. I had some. I was
Yeah.
trying to find them. I couldn't find them.
I did a nano block
Probably in the
once
trash.
before I got back into Lego, and I
Mhm.
hated it. 'Cause it was so repetitive and boring.
They're so
Is that
Then again, the
they're
build
weird.
wasn't that great
Is it
either.
one of the like character build things where it's like it
No,
kind
it
of
was a building.
oh, got it. Okay.
It just wasn't fun. It was just there. Someone sent it to us, and we were just building it. But not only that, we're also talking about Mega Blocks too. Mattel, right? Mega Blocks and Mattel.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Mattel acquired it.
Yeah. So, these are competitors of Lego.
Yeah.
Some people might say they are knockoff Lego, but they do come up with some really good stuff. Because I personally feel that fake Lego would be Lego that is companies that are
Like imitation.
literally trying to mirror the exact same thing
Right.
with Lego.
The clones.
The clones, exactly, like
Yeah.
Lepin. That's fake Lego as
Yeah.
opposed to Mega Blocks, which isn't fake Lego. So,
Yeah.
what do you guys think about how people misinterpret that definition? Anybody?
I think, like you said, it's just like Lepin is fake Lego, and there's others like you can find them at the dollar store and stuff. I would say that's fake Lego, but as far as like Mega Blocks, they make their own builds. Like they have Halo, they have these figures right here, Fry, the vendor.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
But
Well-
I mean, I've never built any Kobe sets or anything, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
my only foray into the like I basically was like Lego purist all the way. I didn't even like use Lego, let alone non-Lego pieces.
changed.
And yes, it definitely changed. Because I had a couple bad experiences with like odor, but then just couple weeks ago, I feel like when was I in LA? Not even. It was
3 weeks ago.
yeah, 3 weeks ago. Walked into a toy shop.
Next to Lego. Literally
Next-
right next to the Lego
literally,
store.
yeah, they had shared a wall and found these little mini. I'll just pull one up because I have like 40 of them, but like these little mini things. And I love buildings, and I thought they were super cute, and they were so different from Lego that I was like, okay, I'll try it. They were like 10, 12 bucks. I bought a bunch, fell in love with it. And the building experience was completely different. So like, it was much harder because it's so small and it wasn't as well designed. So it was actually a more difficult build, which I found kind of pleasant. You know, it was like, I was thinking about it a lot more, and I'm just getting into mock building. So I would imagine that's also like kind of a satisfaction of the challenge with it.
Yeah.
And it's just totally different. It doesn't say like Lego on it. I think like if they try to say Lego, if it's like a direct copy, that is like fake. That's fake Lego. That is, you know, like copyright infringement or whatever, you know, it's like, that's illegal to do. But I think when the scale is different, that was palatable to me, even though they definitely have some like legal stuff. I mean, okay, look at this guy.
But you could learn some good techniques, I think. Like,
but this is like, yeah, they do. But it's like, this is clearly like a Disney, like,
yeah, I just saw a Disney right there.
So, but is this, I don't know enough
Mouse.
about patent law or whatever to know.
Patents kind of like, even the third-party Lego companies all kind of play with the whole IP thing. Like Citizen Brick does that a lot. I saw same thing with Eclipse Graphics using like Walking Dead type of things, and Brickmania kind of plays with that too. You know, with
you just
getting licensing for their sets, things like that, by calling it a different thing. There's I think we kind of let that slide.
Yeah, like I don't know where the line is and stuff, but I definitely now want to have like a little city of these guys, and in my apartment I might be able to, you know, I might have actually the space to do that versus like you know, modulars. Yeah.
I mean, they caught my eye too when I walked in that store. I even told you, I was like, hey, they got some fake Lego in there. And like, I bought them.
Like, I did.
Oh.
Out of
I don't know.
They caught my eye though. The way they had them displayed, it looked like micro modulars, like you said.
Yeah, they're cool. They are really cool. Like especially when we went to that Brikx minifigs and we saw the old Toys R Us compatible with the the Lego Toys R Us sets that had the mini modulars, or the compatible one that worked with the mini original 5 modulars. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. Jane's probably more familiar with that than we are because we kind of came back after that release from Toys R Us. They're like the little modulars that, if you remember the original 5 that they came out as a set, it
was like a hotel.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Toys R Us.
It was a Toys R Us release.
Was it their Bricktober thing, or was it
something? Yeah. Bricktober. There we go.
Okay. Yeah.
But they were like little mini modules that kind of you know, move with all that kind of stuff. But how do you feel about, you know, because you review a lot of things, not just Lego, and for a lot of fans of Lego, they're purist. They're fans of, but they're very ignorant to the fact that there are other companies out there that do really cool things with a building system, and you tend to like venture out there to kind of get a more expert feel about the product itself. So how do you feel about all that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it like with most things, it comes down to objective factors and subjective factors, right? One of the objective factors that I always like to base these debates around is that Lego itself began as a clone brand. Lego as we know it today started out as a clone brand. They literally directly copied the Kitty Craft interlocking brick system directly. They just converted it over. Ole Kirk Christensen himself directly converted the existing patented brick system from another company over to from imperial to metric units, and that's all he did, and started selling it using the same machine. He got them as examples of, here's what another company is doing with our injection molding machine. Oh, I like this injection molding machine. I like plastic because it's not going to burn down like my factory did. Too soon? Is that too soon?
No, it's good. We're good.
So, you know, from a moral perspective, or let me put, not moral, an ethical perspective, you know, we have to start from there. Okay. Yes, Lego has grown past that point, right? They 10 years later introduced their own thing on the underside of the bricks, the tubes, right? That allowed them to have better clutch power and to build into 3.16 million or however many combinations you can make out of, you know, 4 2x4 bricks. So they've moved on, and that's fine. Like I don't hold that against them that they started out as a clone brand, but I do hold it against fans that talk about, you know, Omega Constructs being a clone brand, or Kobe being a clone brand, or something. Like your moral high horse is not very tall. It's not very far up there if you actually go back and look at the history of it. But on the subjective side, I am perfectly fine with anybody who wants to be a purist. Like I've had times of being a purist. It wasn't very long. My city is a purist city,
Right.
People can like whatever you want, right? There's nothing wrong with that. What is wrong and what I have a problem with is when people get into saying that, oh, what is this Kobe garbage? Like you're a traitor to Lego because you've built this thing, or I've got an entire room, literally an entire room of our house is dedicated to Mega Constructs Halo stuff. And oh, you're a traitor to the brand. Like you're a bad person because of that. What? What?
How is that? Your character is like totally
Right?
that's insane.
And diving deeper into that, like Shy, like you were saying, they have so many different pieces, right? This is not just a matter of a company that has directly copied, even though it is legal now with all the patents expired, it is legal to directly copy almost all of the molds that Lego does today. A lot of these companies don't. They have their basic ones. Some of the basic pieces they recreate, but so many of these pieces that are not even just specialized parts are designed by this company. And they have a lot of things that are way more useful than Lego pieces. Like building with Kobe, building with Mega Constructs today is a joy. It's a real joy as a Lego fan because you get to discover all of these pieces that are different from Lego, that Lego should make, that would make Lego building so much better.
I feel like Mega doesn't care about making custom molds for their sets. Like if they think they need a new mold, they'll just make it. That's kind of what I think.
Yeah, they do it like for canopies and front windows of
like the
trucks
and stuff.
Right. Yeah, they do it when they need to. But I'm talking more about just the little pieces, that change direction. We're within the space of a single stud. You can change from female to female right there. So you can put stud from the top, stud from the bottom in that tiny little space. To do the same thing. Yeah, to do the same thing in Lego, how much snot building do you have to do just to change direction? And these companies are not afraid to just
Try
that.
something. Yeah.
There's so much more available to you.
Is it because they're smaller and there's maybe less hoops for them internally to have to jump through to like make new pieces? There's less hierarchy, there's less
inertia.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. There's less politics behind it because, they are kind of in the shadows still in a way,
Have you guys seen the He-Man and Masters of the Universe Mega Blocks?
I have most
No.
of
Mega
them.
Constructs.
I have not.
Me
That's
neither.
actually cool. I've heard of it. I haven't actually seen it in person.
So I don't know what's his name? Skeletor, is it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Skeletor's his purple cat. They have like a mold for that, and it's like it has felt on it and stuff. That's awesome.
It's flocked. Yep.
Yeah. See,
Just like the original.
See, the only thing I do like Lego wins about minifigures.
Yeah.
Minifigures, like Kobe minifigures, don't look so good.
No.
No bueno.
No. Just nope.
No, I don't think any company compares to.
These ones are okay.
But we know that's directly trying to mimic the Lego.
It is. It's the same style, but it's just so much smaller. Wait, I want to show you guys how small it is.
Wow. That's
Well,
like
while
the
you look for
closest
that,
I've ever seen.
Wait, you have one? Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh,
my
wow.
gosh. I did not know how small that was.
You see that?
Huh.
Isn't that cool? So it comes with like the hands are separate from the arms are separate. You have to put those together. There's like the hip joint, and then there's the two different. By the way, there's the knees. Oh shit! Sorry.
What?
They have knees?
What?
They have
What?
knees.
Wow.
At that scale?
At that scale, I can't even.
Okay.
I can't. I can't
Can you
even
put it
show
on
you.
top of one of the buildings so we can see the scale it is to the buildings?
Okay, so these ones don't come in the little mini modulars. They come with this other line, which are these food trucks, which
Okay,
are
that's
a
what it is.
different scale. But you can see when they're so tiny, the level of detail that you can get at such a small scale is super cool. And it's like, how do I let me open this and I can show you guys, like, look how much stuff is going on inside.
That's pretty cool.
It's
Are
really
those prints?
Some are, and
Okay.
some are stickers.
Okay.
Which ones are prints on this one? Actually,
I mean, that's a cool food truck.
It looks
Yeah.
cool.
Piaggio
these-
Ape.
Yeah.
these are here. I'll show you. These are prints. They have. Oh my god, I can't even hold some of these. This is just like this. This is a print,
Mm-hmm.
and like
It looks
and then
like
this
a
one's
Lego
a print. On there's like some Lego prints are on spheres, but that's a print too. That little like teddy bear thing or whatever. But yeah, this one is like it's a different scale. Like
Wow.
this is like the size of. So yeah,
Can you put a minifigure next to that? Like a Lego one?
a Lego one would be like this,
it
Okay.
makes Lego look so huge.
I
right?
know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Doesn't it? Which
realize.
is kind of crazy. And then these ones come with these like other minifigs that are like kind of like a direct copy of like the babies. Where is it? It's really creepy. And this thing
Oh, okay.
The
the-
microfigs from
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
from
from
the
the
games.
board games. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so that's that. But anyway.
All right. So, for everyone out there, how much did that cost?
This thing.
Yeah.
So I paid $14 at like a private toy store, and which was like, super expensive. And then I went on eBay and bought a ton more, and I got them for an average price of $7.
See,
So, relatively cheap. That in
Yeah.
comparison to Legos, and that's the crazy thing is that we have all these brands out there that economically are a lot better for your wallet than Lego it itself. But a lot of people will consider that Lego still, who are not familiar with the Lego brand.
Oh yeah.
See, that's the big thing.
So
about
I
that.
don't want to speak. I don't know anything about like the ethics of the manufacturing of or the supply chain of any of this product, and I don't even want to pretend like I know it about Lego either. I do know that they brand themselves as a brand that that they are very ethical in terms of their production life cycle, and so that is part of the price that we pay, I think, as well. And also the way that they treat their employees, like supposedly both, globally speaking.
we pay for that?
We're talking about Lego, right?
Yeah, we pay for that. I think
Oh,
we pay for that. So I don't know if those same business practices are applied with these other off brands. So I do,
Of course. I mean, the Lego group has a huge overhead.
right. And as consumers, we do need to be conscious of the choices that we make, right? Where we buy our food, and if we can afford to like be a conscious consumer. Just going back to like fast fashion and all that stuff. So
Definitely.
just like disclaimer,
For sure. But you touched on it right there.
Yeah.
So a lot of us have dove deep into other things Lego wise, as far as not coming from the Lego group, but it makes you appreciate how much work is put into a single Lego set. Like when you dive into like third-party Lego sets like Brickmania and stuff like that, where you have to dump every single brick on the table without having bags, something, especially when it's like 3,000 pieces deep. That is not a fun building experience.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's
like
just like,
overwhelming.
it's overwhelming. You don't know what to do. So it makes you appreciate the effort that Lego does to ensure that the building process or the building experience is a part of what you're buying.
Yeah.
So I have a question, because I know, Jang, you build a lot of like Mega Bloks stuff. How what's the difference between their instructions and like Lego instructions?
So there was a dark time.
There was a dark time.
There was a dark time when Mega Constructs, I think they were still Mega Bloks at the time, did not have numbers on their bags or letters. It was just go fish, right? The reason for that was freaking Lego. Because Lego somehow got a design patent on instructions for buildable toys
Good for them.
that you can follow along
Nice
with
Lego.
numbered or lettered bags.
That is
They
a smart lawyer. That is a smart lawyer.
Oh my god!
They say we need a
I
corner
did
this
not
market.
know that.
Dang, that's crazy.
Wow.
Fortunately, that has expired, so Mega Constructs stuff, once again, is a joy to build. And Kobe stuff is a joy to build because it can be. But yes,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, like I just recently, it was just, I think last week that I built this Kobe set. I mean, it's not Mega, but Mega is very similar, I think, as an analog. And the instructions are clear. There are numbered bags. The parts are easy to find, and It's like individual steps. You don't have to sit looking at it, examining a picture like an old Lego instructions manual, where you'd have to sit looking from the 80s to see 10 pieces that were added around this entire castle perimeter.
That's what these are. So this looks, it's like straight printed out of like,
oh my God,
or whatever, it's just like,
no.
It's like every step is like 28 pieces and you just have to find them. Yeah.
Oh, it looks like a schematic to like a machine. Yeah. That's what that looks like.
Yeah, that's not fun.
I like it. It looks like
you're an architect.
Well, yeah, but maybe.
You look at that all day. I don't do that.
True. Yeah. Okay. Well,
business management to delivering mail. I don't do that.
I don't know. I liked it, but I'm not gonna lie. Like my fingers sometimes, like I can't. Like if sometimes when you press like too hard and you like explode a set, I always do that all the time. This could just be a me problem, but like I'll press too hard when I'm like putting this together and it pops. I've done this maybe like 20 or 30 times just building this. So like this took me like probably a whole half day to a full day of hours just to build it perfectly. And I ripped stuff, had to like super glue like the fabric part together.
Oh.
But it's so cute.
It.
I glued the fabric part to itself, not to another piece.
Makes you appreciate Lego, doesn't it?
Yes, because they like laser cut or printed the holes in the fabric to put between like the plate and the Technic pin or Technic copyrighted pin or what, I don't know, and then it was too close to the edge, so if there was any tension on it, then it just tore right through and tore off the thing.
Oh.
So, yeah. Ooh. So that's the stuff that, I mean, this was like $9.50, it's like, it's so cheap. Like, how can I complain about something like that?
No, that's true. No, but it's good to know, like, when you mess with these other brands, you start to critically think and appreciate what Lego does and not be overly critical. But it makes you look at the other side. So that way you can have a very educated viewpoint as far as what Lego and Lego does not do.
Yeah.
Or what they should be doing. I know, Jane, that's the reason why you do it sometimes, because I think I heard you mention that for you to criticize these brands, you have to dive into these brands.
Yeah, I mean, it helps if you want to have an educated sounding argument to actually know some of the facts, to have some experience with it.
So
that's another thing. I think a lot of people just judge it right off the bat, and they're like, "Oh, I don't like it," but they've never. Actually
I'm guilty of it. I will say I was like that at one point.
Yeah. It's so easy to get caught up in that because it's so expensive. It's partially like you have to, and it's like a lifestyle changes, to really do it and do it the way that a lot of us do it. That it's like a justification in your head or something. You know what I mean? It's like some kind of elitism almost that comes with it. It's like a club that you enter. And I even noticed that like I sometimes feel that way with like some of my new friends that are like getting into the hobby. Some of my friends that are newly getting into the hobby, they're not new friends. And they're loving it and they're going in completely different directions. But I find sometimes that I'm judging them based on some of their opinions that they have on specific sets and it's like, what? It's so easy. It's like this, or you judge like other content creators or what, you know what I mean? There's a lot of judgment and shame in this community in like a very unintentional way. I don't think people are really trying to do that.
Well, I thought that was just a California thing.
Oh, yeah, it could be. I think you might be right. You might be something there. I'm around Twitter too much. No, but like, I don't know. There's definitely an elitism with Lego for sure. Yeah, I'll stand by that. But there is that one YouTube creator. He does like a lot of the Chinese brands. Brick Me Up Scotty. You told me about him, Shy, and he was mentioning in one of his videos that this is obviously like pre-COVID times, but he lives in Hong Kong and there's a massive toy convention every year there. That's like multiple football fields big. I can only imagine how big of a space that it is. And like 75% of the stands are brick building companies. How that must be like so exciting, like Disneyland, just to go see these. Like I would absolutely go to Hong Kong just for this convention. That would be something I would.
Let's start with a convention at home first.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, it's true. But that's like a seller
go big all the time.
Yeah, that's not like enjoy Bricks by the Bay. That's for sure.
I will, but that's like mock builders and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah,
it's like this is like a professional like this is like, I think it's vendors going to,
Yeah, they're selling their brand.
Exactly. Yeah. Which it's like going, I don't know if you've ever been to any like the food fairs and food conventions. Like if you work in the food industry, they have them like here in the Bay and stuff. They're massive, like at Moscone. It's really cool. Whatever. And those conventions are all super cool.
Are we allowed to go to those things if you're not?
You have to work in the food industry or like know somebody, but it's pretty easy to get. I mean, it's
Wow.
It's worth it though. But yeah.
So pretty much you need to know someone to get in. So segue. LAN.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That was perfect. So some of our friends have applied to get into LAN, and some of our friends got rejected again, like BFAB. That was our little input for BFAB for the episode.
Dang, that was a cold-blooded one.
That was a cold-blooded one. I mean, I saw that one coming. But some of our friends are getting into it, and we have with us right now, like the Lego YouTuber that everyone knows who he is. I mean, I'm surprised when I find someone that doesn't know who Jang is.
Dodge that bullet. No.
Yeah. But Jang, you don't like to, I heard you mention before, like you don't dive deep into the LAN or want to be a part of something where a company kind of gives you kind of semi-partnership of what they do. Can you explain that a little bit to your reasons to not want to join Legoland?
Yeah, it's relatively simple and not too dramatic for me. I've had the experience of being partnered with companies before in a previous hobby. I used to do high-end radio control cars and trucks and stuff, and I was put in contact and direct connection with some of the biggest companies, like really big companies in that industry. Type of companies that can just send you whatever and it's not even a write-off to them, like, here's a few $1,000s worth of stuff, have fun with it. And amongst some of those, I had what I thought were really, really good, solid relationships with them. It was fully understood up front that, look, I am not going to lie about your stuff. I am not going to change where I'm coming from. I'm not going to change my values. I'm going to tell my viewers and I have this put in writing, right? Before we even start talking about changing, sending product in the mail or anything, have it in writing. Like, I am not going to give you a good review just because you sent me something. I'm not going to change anything about how I look at your product just because you sent it to me. And I want to make sure that you know that, and you have proven that you know that on paper up front, and everything is good. Like, okay, I have a little bit of criticism about this one thing. Okay, this one part broke a little bit too easily. Okay, there's a little bit too much slack in the steering column on this basic level truck. And next thing you know, I'm getting invited to a conference call with this VP and this design director and this race team manager and stuff. And it starts off all cordial and everything and very quickly goes south. And, they're just, going down my throat about all this, how I'm just I must have been contacted by a competing company or something. Like, what is my angle here? Am I just trying to get YouTube views out of, making a big deal out of something that is a flaw with their product that really isn't that big of a deal? Like, I'm trying to make these things happen. And I'm clearly, anybody can just go through and look at my review of everything from that company, from other companies, most of the stuff that I've paid for myself, and I'm treating everything exactly the same. And I've got this agreement on paper that we're not going to have drama here, and it still goes to crap.
And it sucks because it's just like you're just giving corrective criticism, but they're taking it like you're just like, oh, you're totally trashing us. Like,
I can understand. There are some people that like to go into the trashing thing, like they that like to get views out of the such and such sucks, but I wasn't doing that.
But it's obvious when someone does that. It's super obvious, and it's clear. It's almost like it's not. They're not even disingenuous when they do it because they do it with such an acting way that it's like, and it's like people go to those channels for that specific reason. Do you think this company? Do you think this company just like maybe like Lego or I don't know? Do you think they're just like they don't understand? They're just new at the social media thing. They don't understand how to navigate it. A lot of them are kind of older companies that they because it's like it's a skill from their perspective, from a project management perspective, to manage their social media contacts, manage their brand ambassadors. It is a whole job in itself and a skill that isn't really learned in school. It really anyway. It's like a combination of like PR and marketing and also just like basic psychology, and like, and then also like client relations. It's like a management thing. And I think a lot of times they tend to put really young people behind those kind of roles to like be a part of it because they assume, oh, social media, like young person has to do it, but then it's not a professional person maybe on the other end. I don't know. Some of the things that I've heard like through our friends that are in LAN, it's not, and as somebody
or not in LAN anymore.
Or not in LAN anymore, yes. It doesn't seem, and I am somebody I've been in the corporate world for, 10 years now. It doesn't seem like a professional environment. Do you know what I mean? It seems like a bunch of, I don't even know how to not use this word, but it just seems like a bit of a shit show. Like it just seems like there's no direction. There's no overhead guidance. There's no vision as to what the relationship and the long-term goals are for the social media dynamics between company and essentially media source, which is what we are and what the big influencers are. And
they probably don't know how to train anyone to do that.
But it's
just
not
probably hire someone
new. It's not new. It's almost like they have their blinders on because other industries have
we're going to remember Lego doesn't like change.
A lot of
Lego fans don't like change.
Which is probably why we like the company so much. Or sorry, we like the product so much. Let me rephrase that. No, but I just think it's not a new concept anymore. YouTube's been around for how many years now? Like the cosmetic industry took it by storm and did such a fantastic job with it. Such a fantastic job with YouTube that literally the industry itself, the cosmetic industry, I think has like quadrupled in the last like 5 to 10 years or something. It is so prolific. It is insane how much money people throw at cosmetics. Anyway, I'm off my sticker now.
That felt a little personal there.
It's mania. It's these huge companies that have so much power and so much like they have I think they do have good intention, but it's like they're just not taking advantage of a resource that they could.
Yeah. So to bring it back to Lego in particular, like what has Lego in particular with the LAN done wrong or poorly in how they've managed it? Because I mean, as someone who's on the outside, I don't see that much. I've seen, they've waffled on some things. There's a little bit of lack of direction that I can see from the outside. But has the LAN really been that bad? Because from what I've heard, it hasn't really been that bad.
When I say that bad, I mean, let me rephrase it. It's more just like a lack of opportunity. It's like it hasn't been, the advantage hasn't been taken.
Sure.
So when I see as someone who's in LAN who has multiple points of contact, not one person that they're communicating with directly, the rules of LAN are unclear.
Yes.
Nothing is written out. There's not, do you know what I mean? The roles of the point of contact changes all the time. There's like, it's like constant, like people being laid off and there's like no rollouts. There's like no consistent newsletters, things like that.
Communication sucks.
Communication is piss poor and operations is piss poor. And then as something like a powerhouse, like someone with over 350,000 subscribers who's like killing it at views, like should be utilized. And do you know what I mean? Like that is a free tool in a sense for them to use. Like you cannot buy that kind of influence. Right. And it's embarrassing for for a company like that to not join in and like not take advantage. That sounds like the wrong word, but like join in for the rat race that is YouTube and that is social media, that's what I see. It just seems like a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But like full disclosure, Jang, I used to work for Lego as a store manager. So I have a little bit of insight as far as like how Lego operates via communication wise. And one of the things that I took away that Lego lacked was communication. There's so many different companies within the Lego group that to be able to get in contact with this person is like near impossible. Yeah. And that one person is the only one that knows the answer to this whole debacle. So
no good.
Now that I'm seeing what happened, I mean, what happened like what 3-4 weeks ago was when this whole like doing rumors and leaks is something that land ambassadors shouldn't be doing. That's literally the whole issue. And then people started getting really upset about that. They're like, well, this has always been a thing. Why are you trying to bash us now? Yeah. That's where this all kind of comes from. And then you have people kind of.
I wonder if it's Disney, because Disney is like super strict on leaks and stuff like that, aren't they?
They totally are. But like, why can't there be like a press release by land saying, hey, based on, you know, new company transitions, blah, blah, blah. They don't even have to say Disney. There's like a way to do this stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Communication comes down to that.
Yeah, there's communication.
Is key.
And it doesn't, and this, anyway, it doesn't, it's fine.
We're just getting to a rant.
Claire's triggered.
I'm not even inland. I don't even want to be inland. I don't think so, at least. I don't think I'm like the right demographic.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that either. But I mean, that's where we're going at, Jang. Like that's why we felt, because some of our friends got out and or trying to get in. So it's this whole like dynamic that we don't know. Is it going to be good? Are you going to disassociate yourselves with us once you're inland because of what we do? Like, is it going to be like, are you going to sugarcoat all your reviews going forward? Are you going to, you know, all that kind of stuff?
So I've heard I've heard very, very consistently, and I believe this very strongly, that Lego has not tried to change anybody's opinions through the land system. I've not heard of any instances of even an inkling of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's same. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then I feel like sometimes people won't be 100% genuine with the reviews if they're getting stuff for free.
That's on them.
That's human nature. I think sometimes, you know, that's self-control and boundaries that you have to set, you know, and it's hard. It's probably hard, you know what I mean? Especially like if you couldn't afford to fuel to fuel the hobby in such a vigorous way as if they're sending you, you know, I mean, that's a significant amount of money that I think they send out.
What if it's that they get the set early and they have to put the review out early, so they're still excited about having it? They're just like sugarcoating everything.
Oh, there's definitely some of that. I mean, plenty of people do that aren't in the land, right? That pay that buy their own stuff that want to take advantage of excitement, and they just kind of project that into their content, sometimes even subconsciously. Some do it actually consciously because they think that if they are positive, then they'll get a call from LAN. You know?
Right. Look what I said about your product.
Yeah.
No, it's true though. It's true. I'm just thinking back, like I have, you know, a very baby channel and like with not a lot of content on it, but I don't think I've said anything negative about a single Lego product ever.
You put a different perspective in your architecture.
I do, but I also don't feel like I have the knowledge base, you know, yet, you know, like I can't critically like assess a lot of these things.
Also corrective criticism. You don't have to just bash it.
Yeah.
There's a way of being tactful that I feel like a lot of people don't understand on how to appropriately criticize, which based on what you've said, Jang, you've been ostracized for on your previous endeavors in RC world, being tactful and professional, and it still kind of bits you. Yeah. So, I mean, we're yet to see if that were to happen in Lego. I mean, we'll wait to see if that were to happen. I don't think it's going to, but
it hasn't yet.
You really don't know the future, so we'll find out.
Yeah, they could have like massive layoffs and like a new brand manager that like comes on. And
I mean, after this past year of profits, I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. Maybe when everything goes back to normal, we'll see.
But they could fuel more money into the department, and then they could be hiring more people that are going to, like, you know, I don't know. Who knows how
What's the thing they did a couple years ago when they're making
the mass layoff?
Yeah,
when they lost 2% in profits.
What do they call it, though? There was a name for it.
Redundancy.
Could have been that. No, it was like, I can't remember. It slipped me. We'll just call it the redundancy.
Do you think there's like also something about like the joy of a toy and the whimsy of it all that makes it difficult to have a negative critique on it sometimes?
That's possible.
Is it because I'm looking at a troll set and I'm thinking that maybe?
Yeah.
You know? I'm just
I still need to get one of those.
Pieces were cool. You know, it's like I can't get over it.
Is troll still is it still a theme, or is it retired?
I think they got canceled.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I think it was a one and done.
Yeah, I think it's one of those year type of things.
Just for the movie thing.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I think so.
probably won't be, or maybe it'll be like surprisingly expensive in the aftermarket.
The movie was all right.
I like the movies. I thought they were well done.
I don't have children, so I haven't seen them.
And they
Oh
put
my
Ozzy as the king of rock. So
Yeah, it's
they get a
pretty
plus.
cool. What I mean, either way, we're gonna dive into that. But all right, so we kind of touched on the land, and especially from someone like you, Jang, who probably can like take well advantage of that, but chooses not to. But you are at like I said before, everyone knows who you are within a Lego YouTube space, and that's well deserved. Everyone knows your voice. Everyone knows the way you do reviews, your opinions on things, and what I want to kind of see is you've technically made it towards the top of the whole spectrum of where we all kind of want to be at, but like there is a reality behind that, and whereas your hobby is now your full-time job. And we kind of mentioned to ourselves that I personally, being from the military, do not recommend people going into the military. Fulfill some check marks to be like, well, okay, yeah, go ahead. You have the mentality of doing that. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Claire and architecture. What are your thoughts? Because I've heard you mention it before. Lego YouTube might not be a good idea.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I definitely have to recommend to the younger kids, especially nowadays. So many kids are coming up and be like, "When I grow up, I want to be a YouTuber." That's the thing, and I mean that's cool. Whatever, play around with it. When you're young, you've got plenty of room to adjust your to course correct many times as you go, and we all go through our phases and stuff. But when it comes to the idea of being a big, so I'll just keep it to Lego in particular, to be specific. The idea of being a big Lego YouTuber as the goal, as the thing to do for a profession, for life. If it's something that you really, really want to do, if it's something that you are passionate about, if you're like, I love this stuff, I love this brick-based stuff, I love the toys, or whatever angle it is that you go, if you go to it from an architecture perspective, and I say that not just because you're here, but if you go to it from a military historical perspective, however, whatever you want to bring to that, or whatever you want to get out of it, if it's something that is in you and you want to pursue, then by all means try it. Know that it might not work out for you. But if you just want to have as many subscribers as JangBricks does, then I got nothing for you. It's not as simple as just, getting a white background and then doing reviews and, being really fast about them. And
that's shitty.
behind the scenes, look, I've earned these right here. Okay.
Oh, man.
This is earned. And I've got lighting that's specifically set up in this space to reduce the appearance of these eye bags, like tall lighting. So it's like lighting from underneath and everything. It's not easy. Okay. To do it. You might be lucky. I mean, YouTube that's one of the worst things about it. YouTube is not something that you can simply win at, that you can simply follow a certain prescribed set of tasks and steps and do well at. I've had times where I, in the past, was doing great, and I wasn't putting out as much content as I am today. I wasn't doing stuff as high quality as I am today. I wasn't doing it as fast as I am today, and I was getting all the views. Today, I'm not. Even though I'm doing more, I'm working harder. I'm doing much higher quality stuff. I know much more stuff. I'm more comfortable. Like so many things I do today are better than I did back then, but I'm getting way less views.
I think it's just how the space changes. Like
the space changes. You're not really, if you're on a third-party site like a YouTube, an Instagram, whatever, you're at the mercy of the algorithm, as it's called, which is a whole bunch of algorithms.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. All that stuff, all that tech stuff that happens behind the scenes that can change in an instant, like it did on January 7th, 2020, with the COPPA, the implementation of the COPPA change as a result of Google flagrantly violating federal law for years, but.
Have you seen anyone get in trouble by that, by the way?
I have not.
I haven't.
thank COVID for that. Between COVID and all of the political stuff in the United States, nobody has been thinking about the COPPA thing, even though just before 2020, we had like 4 bills in Congress to strengthen COPPA, to take it from being a 13 to a 16 thing. There are state-specific things, including right here in California, to bring it up to 16, in some cases up to 18. Like there's a lot of push that's just been tabled for the time being, while all the rest of the world has kind of been a interesting place. But yeah, I've not seen anything come out of that yet. But
what did come out of it is that we get to see your face more. And but you doing things like this where we get to communicate with you amongst fellow YouTubers that have all seen your videos when we were introduced to this platform. I think like when we type in Lego on the YouTube platform, we see you first, or for the most part, for most people. And to see you like come around to the streams, especially the really small channels, it's nice to see, and it's reassuring to know that you're human.
Thank you.
I hope it's fun. I hope it's also fun for you. To like do something new.
Well, I like challenge. I like being stressed a little bit. I work best under pressure. So needing to evolve, being forced to evolve has been enjoyable in that painful way.
Makes diamonds.
I mean, you do have a voice outside of your reviews that I think that a lot of people pay attention to. Like when you did the whole COPPA thing, you freaked a lot of people out because I think you brought some realism to it that a lot of people were just kind of taking it as like a nonchalant thing.
Yeah,
and then we were like, oh crap. Do I second guess myself? But I saw a lot of YouTubers just quit right after that, and then they came back and everything was cool.
Yeah, but we didn't know that everything would be cool, and it was.
Yeah, we did it.
It's important to understand the realities and how that could have manifested.
Yeah, I was worried about how some folks were actively like telling all the little guys that this is not something you have to worry about at all. At the time when, what's his face at the top of what was the agency that was in charge of that one? It's not the FTC, was it?
Was it the
Federal Trade Commission?
It was FTC.
Yeah, it was.
It was talking about, we're going to make an example of you. You want to talk about aggressiveness? Yeah. Like that was
that was the tone that they were taking.
That
was pretty serious.
Yeah, they had an agenda. That's for sure. Yeah. I do want to challenge you, Jang, though, because you're like, this is really hard, and I have like bags under my eyes and stuff because of it. So I had no boundaries when I was like, first really working in architecture, and I like loved it so much that I like dove in deep and like definitely, had to have an intervention, or my friends had to have an intervention with me and family and stuff to be like, you're working too much. I had the bags under my eyes. I looked like I was 10 years older than I am. It was not great. Yeah. But a lot of that was driven from being young and naive, and like just learning boundaries, but also loving what it was that I was doing at the time. So do you feel like maybe that's like part of the reason why you're in so deep? Is it because of the grind and the need and the demand, or is it or both, or you know what I mean? Is also like the love of the hobby and the fact that you can get lost in it, and it's a very easy thing to get into flow state with.
It's definitely a combination, because I mean, for me, no matter what I do, I'm gonna put 110% into it. I don't believe in half-assing anything.
If you cut one corner, it only makes 2 more.
Yeah,
there you go, dude. That was
nice.
But that attitude can like bite you in the butt sometimes, though, because
yeah. But I mean, at the same time, also, like I'm working super hard now, and still not taking over YouTube with it. Whereas the next person in line might just take it easy and just throw whatever, just turn on a webcam and just talk for 5 minutes and then shut it off and have it auto upload and get 100,000 views off of it. So
like shorts.
Sure. Nothing against anybody else. I'm just saying, if I was putting that level of effort in, I would be nowhere. I would have personally, I would have nothing. Yeah. Nobody would know me. I don't have that luck.
It's like the kids in school that like never had to study, and they could just roll into an exam and like do really well. And then there's like the type of kid that has to just like just overdo it. Like that was me,
Mhm.
by the way. Just study and just like totally annihilate all social aspects.
Yeah.
And,
But
yeah.
but what you're saying about, like, you know, people that care about you having to have an intervention, that's a really, really important point also to consider, just in general, and especially in something where you are working for yourself, where there is no limit, you know, there is no off time. There isn't a 5 o'clock, you go home now,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
you set your own schedule. You have to protect yourself, and you have to have the emotional intelligence to understand when you need to cut yourself back, and you
Yeah.
need to lean on all the people that care about you potentially more than you care about yourself, and
Mhm.
watch the signs, listen. There's a lot of learning about yourself that you need to do to make sure that it doesn't go too far. I went too far with my previous hobby.
Mhm.
I talked about the RC hobby. I
Mhm.
definitely went too far and made that into something that was not fun anymore, because I was working on it too much. Before I got into this Lego thing, as I have done it now, you know, completely just head first into it, I made a promise to the people closest to me, to my significant other, who's now my wife, and to my closest friends who've known me for 20 plus years,
Mhm.
that this time I am not going to make that mistake, that I am not going to allow this hobby to become just a job and something that hurts more than it helps, and more than it makes me happy. If it stops being fun for me, I will stop. And I had to make that promise to other people, because I couldn't make that promise to myself.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get stuck in the grind, and it takes the passion away, I think.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's what happened to me. Like about a month ago. It's been about a month. I'm on like a sabbatical. I had to.
Oh, recent.
Yeah, I had
Wow.
to. I had to exit this. I needed the break because I couldn't. I tried for probably 5 years straight to develop the boundaries, and I just
Oh,
couldn't figure it out. And
okay.
so like it's just I've just gone full stop for now with you know
Wow.
with the intention of figuring it out eventually. But
Mhm.
like, you know, I about 2 years ago is when I had that kind of intervention with
I see.
with the family and stuff. And, you know, it wasn't worth it. It really wasn't. And in my head, I was like, well, I went to graduate school for this. I worked
Yeah.
so hard.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what I wanted, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's like, exactly. You're like, well, I already did all these other sacrifices, so I need to keep doing it, and I need to keep moving forward. And
Mhm.
the second I've stopped, literally all the things in my life that I've wanted for like the last 10 years have fallen into place. And it's so idiotic to say, but like Lego has like so much to do with it. And like making YouTube content and meeting a new community like Shy and Ninja and now you know, it's just like wonderful that like it's just I don't know, it's given me like either like the brain chemistry that I needed
Mhm.
to like have that creative outlet of like
Mhm.
making the videos and doing YouTube and having a new social network.
Could it be that you're more open with your hobby and like with yourself?
I'm definitely that's definitely a huge part of it, but it's also like it was a fresh start, you know, like I needed it. Like I couldn't figure it out with the last one, and I needed to try it with something new. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know, I don't know. I'm like waking up in the morning, like at 7, working on videos, working on content, approaching it like a job because like I'm a machine and like I'm a person of routine, but like I'm also able to stop myself. I don't have bags under my eyes. Sorry. But you know, I had those for many years. Those are genetic, and you know, they're not just
Genetic.
yeah, they are.
They're inevitable. They're
They are.
inevitable.
They're
We're gonna get them.
But you know what I mean? Like it's yeah, I don't know. There's like something about like a clean slate and a fresh start. And I think these like creative hobbies and creative passions can pull you in a really, really negative way sometimes if you don't have the self-discipline to control yourself.
Yeah.
It's interesting. For me, it kind of pulled me back into something, because like I used to be super focused on music, but I realized I don't know, the music industry is just weird, especially for like the stuff I was doing. So I stopped doing that, and then I got into this Lego stuff,
Mhm.
like years later. But then I was talking to someone, and like I brought that up, and they're like, "Oh, you should make music," and that's when I made these songs. I was like, "That's it." Kind of like reawoken the passion.
Like Lego reawoke the passion in music.
Lego.
Yeah.
Or like Lego and YouTube, or just this community
Mhm.
in general, like the community.
It's like a safer space maybe to do that. It's not like the competition of the music industry or like whatever drama comes with it. You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, I think, I guess, yeah.
I mean, there's still drama here.
There's still, yeah, you know.
Yeah, but
It's
it's
on
more like
YouTube.
middle school level, you know. It's like
Really? Sure.
Shots fired. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh wow.
But no, that I just think that's interesting though, because it like reawoke the passion.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's like,
it's something you love. We're all here because we love the brick in itself, and we all enjoy the process of what we do to put Lego into this social media type of platform.
Mhm.
So you know, there's multiple variables that get us to this point where
Yeah.
we're talking about Lego to a public forum. You know,
Yeah.
and being very vulnerable about it because we're sharing our faces
Yeah.
and we're talking about it.
soon.
You know, like
Soon.
Well,
I heard
yeah.
that shot.
when you first came out, man, you did show your face a lot.
And then it's coming. It's coming.
no pressure,
Hey,
no pressure.
no pressure. Hey, Just Too Good did it, man. You could do it too. So I'm just kidding, dude. Chill.
Let it
You're good. You're good. You're fine. So yeah. Oh man, I wasn't intending it to get that heavy, but it got heavy. But hey, thanks, Jang, for that. That means a lot. This was a good one. And we hope to have you on this. You know, in the near future, whenever you want to come on, you're more than welcome. So
Thank you.
Hey, he's part of the Cali Brick Clique. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, he is.
quite
Kelly.
literally.
Yeah, he's legitimately a part of Cali.
I know I might move, and you might have to replace
Yeah, right.
me with him. Yeah.
So is there any last rounds that anyone wants to share before we end it? Because normally I would be like, oh wait, we're supposed to be on Ninja's channel, but we to them
We did
already
it.
did
We
it,
did
yeah.
we said BFAB already, so that's our BFAB intro for the
Don't hate.
episode. And
Don't
then
hate
Yeah.
Omega.
You
don't
haven't
hate on
shamed,
me.
Don't hate Omega.
yeah, you haven't shamed me for like recent buying. Oh, the space.
Oh,
Space coin is, but the space coin is out though. The
Oh,
FYI,
that's right.
anyone wants it? Okay,
I
so
just ordered it.
I got
Okay,
mine.
cool.
I already got my space coin.
Okay, cool.
Oh, nice.
Thank you for getting the whole video out. I'm saying, but I want to see the 4-week one.
I will. I'll do one. One. All the friend sets I've bought in the last couple months.
All right.
I'm single-handedly keeping that line in business. No, I'm just kidding.
Is anyone buying anything on the first, which is in actually
Space,
everything?
Space Shuttle is available now at the
Oh.
time of the recording of this video.
Here it
9
is.
o'clock. Yeah,
Nice.
9 o'clock technically. Eastern Standard Time is normal release.
Never know.
It has
Normal? There's no normal on the release time. I've had to stay up till like 1 hour later, and still nothing. And then they end up releasing something at like 6 a.m. Pacific time. What
they
is
have
that?
done Yeah, they have done
Gosh.
that.
And then we're at a disadvantage because everyone's like awake. Like the target, the
Target
no.
release.
the
Darth Vader?
Venom Carnage thing
Oh,
that you
yeah.
just got.
Carnage. Yeah, me.
See, that's how I
Sorry,
got my
trigger,
Darth Vader
trigger point
buzz.
there.
Well, okay.
Wow.
Guess we're not going to end it right now.
Talking
I'm just
Well, actually,
Oh.
we can talk about that. No,
there we go.
See, there it is.
That's cool. I
I said it all,
over there to be able to do all that.
Next level.
Has the website crashed? Is it still working?
actually, that's really.
Can I just real
Oh,
quick
yeah.
say?
Well, we're not live.
shout
We're not
out-
live.
Shout
Yeah,
out to the
we're still-
lowercase Jang.
I love it.
All right, I'm gonna cut it here, guys. So if you made it to me all the way over here, I mean, we would say subscribe to Jang, but I'm sure you already are. So thanks again, Jang. Thanks everybody for making it all the way to the end. You all have a wonderful rest of your evening. All right, guys. Peace. And yeah, that was it. Hey, good job, man. That was good. I loved it.